Good morning, everyone. My name is Jillian Bartlett. I am an executive member of the Coalition of Independents. I also have another position, the vice chair lady in Grand Bahama and coordinator. Also, I've been doing features on Facebook for years. This is not a new plight that I have. I've been doing it the minute I guess Facebook was open to say, get on and speak. I've been speaking about the illegal migration issues for oh my goodness, 25, 30 years. I don't know, so long I can't remember. But I'm here to reiterate the Coalition of Independence's Vision 2030 with regards to good governance, because I've done the platform for illegal migration and the answers and how a new government need to handle it. I think last week sometime Grenada voted in a first-time third party as the government of the Bahamas, and that is wonderful news. Wonderful news. So let me continue on part 15 of the Coalition of Independents, Vision 2030, with regards to good governance on this pathway. I had to come back because last night I read about the Whistleblower Act under the Coalition of Independents. Now, I know and I strongly believe that the Coalition of Independents is about passing policies, because they've already showed the general public when Mr. Vaughan Miller was alive, they passed a national resources policy in the House of Assembly. Yeah, remember, the Prime Minister wasn't on this talk during his election walks and talks in our communities. He was on the talks about, I'm one of you, you're one of me, and when I get in, I can take care of you, and this is why I do this dance. Some sac passe, you're not Haitian Bahamian, la 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 la. Now, we prove to the general public that that's a lie out of hell. Basically, the Haitian laws do not coincide with our Bahamian laws, and the Nationality Act, when you apply for it, is illegal according to our Constitution and the Nationality Act that's on the table. The part about applying for your citizenship hasn't been passed in the upper chambers of the House of Assembly, and the Bahamians have never been given an opportunity to go to a referendum to vote, just like back a couple of years ago where they gave a referendum for the gambling. Remember that? We voted no, and the gender movement tried to squeeze in their agenda in there. We voted no. Remember that? Yeah. And they told us that it was an opinion. Well, we never got a referendum to pass in our Nationality Act. Yes, we have one, but there was no proper protocol to say we can actually have a referendum on the Nationality Act. So here we are, talking about good governance under the Coalition of Independents 2030 vision, which you must read, which you must arm yourself with information. It's not pom-poms, but it is definitely raising our Bahamian flag in the Coalition of Independents rallies and town meetings that educate you. We've also moved to another level. We had our town meetings via Facebook because the COI believes in transparency. We've always done our town meetings live. We've done rallies live on Facebook, ratification live. We're the only political party who's been doing that. Everything that we could expose in a corrupt system as in the Bahamas was done live. Did you see they locked Mr. Bain up? When did they lock him up? They locked him up when he presented our citizenry bill to the House of Assembly, because we've already passed the National Resources Bill with Mr. Vaughan Miller, who has passed recently. Why? We had the Golden Isles by-election. That was the only time. Now, Mr. Aaron Lewis has presented a bill in the House of Assembly. Yes, it had to do with fire truck facilities, because that's a need. It's a need. We have a lot of fires in the Bahamas. Some deliberately set, some set because the houses are basically not following the laws, guidelines, and the protocols for building homes in our country. You saw a video going viral where Mr. Bain has put down to the table about a bill, law, or policy for the review of the House of Assembly, because it's there, that's what they're there for. They're not there to have debates and talk rubbish and not passing any policies or laws in the House of Assembly. So he presented a law with regards to hanging, because many women, children, have been heinously killed, and yet the perpetrators walk. Look at Mr. Links Jones, who recently, his demise, questionable, okay? They have not come to the table with evidence, because that was not just an accident. Mr. Bain has exposed through his investigation, thank God he came down, and he is a former police, so he's able and capable to do investigations such as what the police should have done. Have we heard anything about that? Nothing. And here we are now, talking about good governance under the Coalition of Independence in the 2030 vision that you will be able to find on the Facebook page. We don't have it written in some archives in the Bahamas. We have it on Facebook. It's called www.coalitionofindependence.com, where you will see the new vision that we need in our country for the Bahamas and all the Bahamian people, whether you vote either side or not. It will enhance and help you to have a better community. And this is what we need, a better community, better communications from our government. Everybody sits back and think that this is it, but it's not. And again, Grenada or another Caribbean country has just sworn in a whole new political party. It's time for change, and we need it badly in our country. All right? So I was talking about, I was reading this, and I was looking at the Whistleblower Act policy that the Coalition of Independence wants to bring forth. I think I want to start there first because I spoke about it yesterday, but I did not read it in details. So I want to read that in details right now. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe what the COI has on its platform since the conception of 4 years ago, when they actually finally decided to, not independently individuals, but they decided to form a political party. Now, the Whistleblowers Act. What is a Whistleblowers Act? What is a whistleblower? Well, we've had whistleblowers, like, for instance, the Bahamas for Bahamians and Legal Residents Group organization is considered a whistleblower community on the migration issue. We've been doing it for a long time, keeping the fire under the topic, until Mr. Bain came in and took it over and moved it to another level. And then Mr. Sean Gardner took it to a very another level. The frequency is so high right now. Let me tell you how high the frequency is. Do y'all realize that the minister under the PLP, and I'm not calling no names because I'm not interested in wasting my time calling their names, has now brought the asylum bill back to the table? Didn't another minister did that a few years ago? Didn't another governing party actually brought an asylum bill up when we cannot house any more people in our country because the Bahamians are being disenfranchised? So we had the FNM who brought the actual asylum bill to the table. We had the political party in the sunny colors. They actually brought it to a conversation. Not no protocols, just a conversation, put it out there. And they were going to do what they had to do 2 years ago. And then now we're hearing recently another candidate in the Sunshine Party with the yellow colors now bringing it to the table because Mr. Trump is doing what he has to do in his country. And where are all these people going? And why did Mr. Leader of the country bought police from Haiti? Wait a minute. Why did he even send our police to Haiti? We don't see any benefits of that. What is the reason for doing that? Bringing them here to our country for what? But now you're talking about the asylum bill again? On my birthday month, December 1st, you're bringing that up again? And you think we're going to sit back and allow this crap to continue? So, under the Coalition of Independence Whistleblower Act, protection and rewards. And this is something worth listening to, and it's worth going to read it for yourself. Should any public officer attempt to exploit you, our robust legal framework will ensure that such acts are met with swift and severe consequences, including a $1 million, let me repeat it again, share this please, $1 million reward for whistleblowers. And what is the other severe punishment for those who feel that we are playing? Hard labor sentence for offenders. I had to go right there. Because for years, there were many, and still are, in the Bahamas, who have been showing documents, who have exposed different departments of corruption. They're even watching us in the United States because it's so bad. The corruption continues. And need I remind you all about the indictment? Yeah, last November. The court case is in New York. Is that something the United States is pinning on the Bahamians? No, it's not. It's a real case. And high officials and officers have been found out to be doing what drug dealers normally do. So in our Vision 2030, the whistleblowers, there are rewards. Okay? No longer you have to sit in your corner, be exploited by any officer of any laws in the Bahamas, including courthouses, including attorneys, including persons that work in immigration, including business people, anybody. Okay? You are a whistleblower in your country. You want to make sure that they pay for what they've been doing to our society for a very, very long time. The COI has a better plan than any of the political parties right now. On top of you being rewarded for $1 million. If you don't want it, fine. If you don't want to get $100,000 a year, fine. Okay? We'll find the people who are interested in cleaning up our country. If you want to just wear colorful, silly political shirts, and they have the pen right today to make it right. But then again, how can you ask the criminals to do what's right? And that's the problem we have in our country. They go in to fill up the asylum talk again. It's December 2022. And they right back there doing it again. Keith Bell brought the conversation up a couple of years ago. Did the people say what the people meant? Did they be quiet? Were they quiet? No, Keith Bell. You know he wasn't quiet. You was the one who went into the church and you disgrace our country with regards to doing a renunciation in church at a funeral. Is this a new voodoo thing that y'all doing now? This is what y'all bring our country down to? Miss Ferguson, who did what was right as an immigration officer, female immigration officer, got put on the burner. This cannot continue. We're not going to allow any migrants to return back to our country from the United States. They are to go to their country of origin. We're not going to allow that. Hell will freeze over first before that happens. I'm at part 15. Our Coalition of Independence Vision, part 15. Republic government, city government, self-governance, good governance. This is what we are about. The people must have the power back when those who are in authority are not concerned about our country's affairs and laws and policies. The people must take the country back. All right? Now, I know everybody promised the people. And again, we cannot blame the Coalition of Independence if your road isn't fixed. You cannot blame the Coalition of Independence if you have a pond in your road because they haven't fixed simple things like drainage. You cannot blame the Coalition of Independence if you don't have a hospital or airport. Or the 50 islands that are inhabited, or 46 or 16, are not operational, being operated to substantive economic growth. You cannot blame the Coalition of Independence for that. You cannot blame the Coalition of Independence for your power bill is more expensive than your mortgage. You cannot blame the Coalition of Independence for the VAT, that your milk now by a gallon is almost $10. You can't blame us for that. We're not responsible for those things. We're not responsible for the migrants that are rummaging and bringing the standard and the vibration in our country down. Can't blame us for that. But we do have solutions for it. You just have to do this one thing in the upcoming general election. Just give us this one chance to show you that we can fix this. Now, for those persons who have accepted contract that wasn't openly received, but they were contract by favors, things gonna have to be readjusted. Because when you don't do things right, it doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing the things in the dark. And also doing the things openly, unfairly, at the detriment of the masses. It will be taken back. And this is where we're standing hard, because we want to see some equality in our country. So yes, I know they've promised, and they've promised, and they've promised. Here comes your last promise. This is what the COI proposed to do. A promise to the people that they will directly benefit from their natural resources, which they will use to reinvest in our communities. Well, let me put it this way. In our many islands of communities, because we're not on one landmass. A reward by the whistleblowers, and I think this is worth reading again. Penalties to lawbreakers, okay? Hard labor. That needs to be repeated again and again. The reward, 1 million. Yes, why not? Now, you could take one or the next. You could be a whistleblower for your communities of islands, or you have option B. You can take the 100,000 a year that you're entitled to, or you can keep the promises of the PLP telling you're going to have free electricity and the Perry Christie. You get it yet? Okay. Thank you very much. We need our monies to be reinvested into our islands of community. We need the mature Bahamians to come forth and govern your island, is what the COI is proposing. You form your community of persons who are going to be responsible, mature Bahamians to fix your island. Get them together. Get them together like you getting your poll workers together. Okay? Another promise to the expat living in the Bahamas. Listen. Sometimes they get budget also. Okay? We work cohesively with all except for this group, because you know why. Now for expat, you don't have a problem. It is what it is, okay? We didn't say Rome was destroyed in one day. I can say destroyed instead of elevated. It takes time. We have to work with others. But at least there will be others on the fact that they will be under the COI who will transparently do deals rather than under the table deals like you've been seeing. Hike up prices and then the politician take a cut, yes, and the rest go to whomever. Those deals are not benefiting our country. And then we have the promises of, remember I spoke about the constituency mobile app? You hear them talking about this? We live in the 21st century, everybody. We don't live in the dark ages. We're in the 21st century where citizens will be able to vote, listen to this, securely on legislation. Citizens will be voting by these apps on legislation. I'm speaking slow like that because the last time we had a referendum the old way on the gambling to say no or yes to the gambling agenda, it was won by the people. But Perry Christie did a fast number and said, oh no, that was just an opinion poll. Didn't they still go ahead and do what they have to do with the gambling houses? Are the gambling houses paying us $11 million a year to go back to help those persons in all of those communities? Or have the gambling houses branch off like Kentucky Fried Chicken and no hospital was built to facilitate gambling addiction? They might as well take on the alcoholics and the persons who are addicted to drugs, because it all coincides. Have they done that? We live in the 21st century, not in the Stone Ages. All I see is other things that brings no light to my country getting elevated over what is good. And this is not going to continue under the coalition of independence. So let me read it again. The 21st century citizens will be able to vote securely on legislation. The House of Assembly actions in the House has gotten old and overplayed, and we're tired of that. We're about policies. We're about enabling laws that will secure our country, our sovereignty in the Bahamas, and more. Okay? Topics cover further for under good governance. Let's just read them as I have them labeled. You'll have to go still on the page and read it a little more deeper. Empowering the people by shifting the power from the politicians to citizens. That's me. That's you. That's you in Eleuthera. That's you in Andros. That's you in Abaco. That's you here in Grand Bahama. That's you in Nassau. That's you in Ragged Island, way down there, Long Island, and Inagua and Berry Island. That's y'all. Shifting the power to you. You don't have to go to no stupid rally to hear them talk stupidness. Now, when they are did the House of Assembly close? Please tell me. So why would the fools have a rally? Why? Because the COI is being heard. You are in the House of Assembly now. It ain't Christmas. And you going to have a rally? So how will we be empowering the people and shift the power from the politicians to the citizens? How? Here's how. Restoring opportunity and trust. Because right now, we have a system we don't trust. There's no accountability. There's no transparency. We don't trust it. Everybody knows the stories of NIB. You can't even retire early in NIB. They tell you, oh, you didn't meet your quota. What kind of crap is this? With all the natural resources we have, this old tyrant PLP government cannot put it together. But no, they could put it on the ground and they could have a what? Did you say they had a town meeting recently? An election next year? Oh, wait. Did they pay the civil servants? Did they pay them? The COI wants to restore the opportunity for trust through accountability and transparency. As you can tell, the COI leads by example. Because why? And so far, they've done everything transparently on Facebook, TikTok, and so on and so forth. No secret meetings. As a matter of fact, their platform is there for you to read under www.coalitionofindependence.com. You can also participate. They even put it so transparently, even the persons who are in power could start to do some of those things before 6 months is out. No, they can wait until the election is called 2 months in, and then they can waste somebody's money to put on the ground for bogus startup projects. You all ain't tired of that? Okay, what else the COI will be doing? With regards to the pillar of new governance, the COI wants the rules of laws to be separated the power, legislation, judicial, and the people. They want to fix that. We don't feel comfortable going into the courts now, and the case is put off until Methuselism. Come on. It's wrong. Okay? We need to separate those powers. Political influence should have no power or no influence over our court and legislation and so on and so forth. It's out of order. We need to have attorneys that represent its people, not a delay in getting the attorney. Can't find an attorney. You find one. They rip you off. They take your money. They do not perform. There has to be something in place to deal with this. The COI have a plan for that. Sustainable development and economic resilience. These are the promises, yes. You've tried them all. They're in a place of authority right now. And they play in Dolly House in the House of Assembly, having silly, immature talks. No bills pass, but they can have a rally. They just had a rally. The House of Assembly is still open. They have the power to make your life easy. We ain't talking about Christmas. But they had a rally last week when the Coalition of Independence had their rally, as if that was a smart move. That's the dumbest move ever you could make. You're in a house of authority. I got to say it again and again. You are in the House of Assembly, which is a house of authority, right? You are in the position of authority. You have our plan right here 3 years ago. You had our plan right here 4 years ago. You had our plan a year ago. Please show us the proof that you are serious about governing our country. But no, you decide to have a town meeting. Whereas the COI, who's never governed, had a town meeting. Make it make sense, Bahamians. Let me make sure I have this written right. Let me just go back a little bit. We're talking about the promises of the COI. Okay, we have sustainable development and economic resilience, because nothing is sustainable in our country at this time. Promises our people and partnering with our people. Why? Okay, We're 53 years. It's not young and it's not old. It's not the point. The point is the Bahamians are ready to govern and have a plan. The COI has showed us over and over how many bills they presented on the floor in the front of the Parliament under Vaughan Miller at the time. Then Mr. Aaron Lewis did the same thing. Then Mr. Bain went and presented bills. And they decided to shut it down as if we don't have it documented online. Wow. They decide to lock up Bahamians who are qualified to run in the next election, any election, run independently. They decide to lock us up as if that was going to stop us. So the COI is promising our people to be, you're going to be the new partners. And it's time. Okay? The COI, a promise for the COI is to the people for the new Bahamas. That's one of our new promises. And it'll stay new. We can promise to develop the nation and global community. We are a laughing stock. We are an embarrassment in the global community. We are already a dot on the market. We are already a dot. And then to have this man thinking as if he's entitled because he waited in the wings of the PLP that he's the only one who can govern a country. Wow. We're tired of being a global embarrassment under the IMF, under, well, we're not part of NATO, but we go and make speeches at the UN who can't fix crap because they were in Haiti for years and they frigged that up. They did not fix it. Okay? We've been told over and over we get, cautioned because of the crime situation. But no, they get out rally last week and the crime ain't been solved in the Bahamas. The COI promised to, for the expat living in the Bahamas, that, we welcome. We welcome all expats and persons who have higher standard than the ones we got now. We welcome you all. Okay? We're not a party of exclusivity and inclusiveness. That is a lie of the pits of hell. Let me tell you why. How long we could have been manufacturers in this. How long we could have had things in the Bahamas where we were actually making it in the Bahamas. How long have we been put on the back burner when it comes to sports? You all think that thing in Nassau is it for training our people? So why our people keep leaving our country and go to the United States or wherever and become multimillionaires and high stars in basketball and baseball and whatever? How long have we been put on the back burner that we cannot do anything like that? And why is this? You all say these things are not political. No, they shouldn't be political. But those political parties have made it political, not the COI. So we warmly welcome the expats because they bring value, yes, when it's done up front, when it's done transparently. They bring valuable experience and knowledge because we already 30 years behind because of their bickering in the House of Assembly instead of making things happen to trickle down into our society. Okay? We're not under pressure. They are under pressure. They are under so much pressure, that's why they had to have a rally. I needed to make sense. They had a rally. House of Assembly closed from summer. First time they actually do some work. I don't know what they're working on. They're still rowing each other. But they had a rally. And they could use our platform and make it happen for the Bahamian people. You don't think we like that? Yes, we would like it. But some of them got to go. I just need to read this again because I'm closing very soon. This is very, 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 very interesting, on our platform. You all need to see it, share it, talk about it. The Whistleblowers Act, protection and reward. Should any public officer attempts to exploit you, our robust legal framework will ensure that such acts are met with swift and severe consequences. No, you're not going to get away with it. Okay? Including a $1 million reward for whistleblowers, the Bahamas for Bahamians and legal residents, the Evolution Group, the Patriotic Group. You all hear this? Right? And that other group and that other group. You all hear this? Read our plan, okay? The whistleblowers and hard labor for sentences for offenders. Let me remind you of one last pointer. On our platform for the Coalition of Independence that's online that you can read for yourself. A promise to corrupt politicians with an S on it. Because when you don't go to jail and you've been caught and you've been exposed by Mr. Lincoln Bain, as far as I'm concerned, you are corrupt. Swift and severe justice. Our commitment to accountability is unwavering. Any politician, public officer in any position found guilty of corruption, you know, we know for that, will be faced a minimum of 20 years under the Coalition of Independence new government. Why you all think they fighting so hard? They borrowing everybody money so we could just disappear. We're not going to disappear. Okay? If you're found guilty of corruption, you will be faced a minimum of 20 years. Sentenced with hard labor. And we ain't finished there. No, because we ain't playing with y'all. Y'all have done too much damage in our country. Repaid to the public. Assets seized. And restriction from further business endeavors. Do you understand what we were saying? Y'all think we were going to come and step like we ain't afraid of nothing. This is on the Coalition of Independence platform, letting them all know. Why you think they decide to have a rally in the alley as if we supposed to be impressed with that, and then the House of Assembly, it's opened and they ain't do nothing for you. Let me just re-emphasize here. Cease their assets. Not your assets, not your taxes, their assets, okay? Because we're tired of people getting fat off the hog, and the lady who only asked the government to come and move the tree before it fall on her house, but Mr. Lincoln Bain went there and had to do it. And he even ain't in government yet. This is not just a promise, okay? This is a need. Our country needs to be cleaned up. This is not just a promise, but it is a promise by the Coalition of Independence. It's an absolute. Okay? It's an absolute. The public is sick and tired of being betrayed. Yellow. Then red. Then yellow. Then red. Then they go in the House of Assembly and then they ask y'all for a public raise. And then they come back into power. Then they decide they can travel and eat caviar, red wine, and that don't even taste good anyway, because y'all don't need that. But that's what they do. And then they take their entourage. They can come back and tell y'all they can talk about reopening again the asylum talks. It's not even a law. It's just talks. That's what you deserve, Bahamians. Remember one thing. Through all of this that's happening in our society, whether it's drugs, whether it's addiction for persons abroad, for officers and officials and drug dealers to come together and be one. Whilst you get fed by the gambling houses, particularly one, you get fed meals. You get a car raffle, come on now. You get a car raffle, but you gotta wait a whole year. You don't get that each month like how we're offering 100,000 a year. You don't get that. You get from the gambling houses a plate of food. Wait now. With their logo on it. Wow. A plastic. Yeah. Ooh, Bahamians, you're really getting there. That's what you get. Okay? But the COI wants to change that. They want to make you leaders of your country because it's high time. I love that Whistleblower Act. I think that's the best thing since Cone days on the COI's platform. So, this is the end of part 15. I will be back tomorrow for part 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I'll keep talking until Jesus comes. Or vice versa, the Coalition of Independents win in the next election. Grenada has won. Third party, step up. Remember now, you got this. This is your ammunition. You got that. That's your ammunition. You got Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, pop. Those are your ammunition. You got this. Your ammunition. You got God's breath in your lungs. Your ammunition. Stand friggin' up. Do not allow any more embarrassment to your national flag in the Bahamas. And if the government isn't doing what they're supposed to do, kick them you know where and do it quick.